Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for June 5th, 2022. We do have some announcements this week. Some are big for Masterpiece Transformers. We have Legends and Mainline. We get information for an upcoming G.I. Joe June live stream, and they did a few things. They announced a few things on the 1st. Got a couple things going on with Masters of the Universe. If you missed the Neca pre-orders for the SDCC exclusives, something strange is going on there. Hopefully, we get another shot at them. And of course, we have Star Wars news this week. We're going to talk about all this and more coming up. Alright, starting off some cool stuff going on over at Show Z. They got a pretty big sell on the Deformation Space Crimson Wing Starscream, $85. The Skywarp and the Thundercracker are sold out. They were $80. I didn't see this coming. I saw this and I was shocked that they're already so cheap. We have pre-orders for a Legend Scale McFan's Toys Microscope or Perceptor. This is the black version and that's what they call it. It's $35. $1 deposit down and should be out sometime this year. They still have pre-orders up for a fourth-party trailer for your KO MP44 or your standard MP44. Should work with either one of them. It's $1 down, but still no price just yet. So this is going to lead us into the news with the Masterpiece MP57 revealed. This thing looks really good. So a little bit of information about it. It is 13.8 inches tall, which is the exact same height of Phoenix from Fans Toys. He includes a rifle stand, 3 interchangeable faces, one of them is toy-inspired mask, 2 big blast effects, Autobot Decepticon plates, so that you can swap them out from Fire in the Sky, 3 minifigures that appear to be inspired by X-Transbots, and you can put them in the cockpit and all that kind of stuff. Has a very cartoon-accurate alt mode, cartoon-accurate bot mode, and there is the stand. Stand looks like every other stand, by the way. Has an adequate Gerwalk mode, and you can see the integration of all the little minifigures that are included. There is specific integration that you can put these figures in the cockpit and some other places very specifically, so that's kind of cool too. So I've had people asking me my thoughts about this already, and I'm actually going to do a lot more next Friday with this because I want to do comparisons, side-by-sides, and then side-by-sides to steals and all that kind of stuff from the cartoon. But I already pre-ordered it, I like it, and this is one of my favorite characters, so of course I'm all in on it. So this week we got some really interesting pictures of Vertus. Now Vertus is the third from the left in this picture. This is Springer, and still in my opinion the best looking one that's been made, that's out there. And I got to get my hands on it and tell you how it works. But I did watch a review. I watched it get transformed. It doesn't look too over the top, complicated for a triple changer, but it still is. There's a lot to it, but I think it looks good in all modes. Here they are from the back, and I wish I would have had these pictures when I was doing Friday's video, but I did a whole thing about this on Friday's video, so check it out, so I won't spend too much time on this, but I do still think it looks pretty good. I still think it cleans up pretty well, and this is one of the things, if you're last to the game, you got to be the best. Here's a nice side view here, and so with that, I do look forward to getting this. People are already getting it in hand. I should be getting it pretty soon. Show Z should be shipping theirs out pretty soon too, so I'm pretty excited about that, and it's one of those Masterpiece releases. It's kind of one of these 4 years in the making. But it does really have a premium look to it, and it's one of the things that many collectors are very excited for this. There are so many people that have pre-ordered this and paid for it a long time ago that are waiting for this to come in and the excitement around it. Some people have waited for this, don't have another Springer option, so there's a lot going on out there. But the other thing about this is with this, and of course, Fans Toys recently put their reissue out, and they're probably putting it out again. But with that, there's going to be a lot of Springer options. You might be able to find something on the secondary market for really cheap if maybe this isn't for you. So people are getting their Nightbird in hand from Takara, and this thing does look pretty good, and a great reuse of the mold. Kind of what I've been saying all along, that I thought it would be a great reuse for the mold. They remolded just enough stuff, and it doesn't really look like you're just taking RC and repainting her because of all of the different parts on her, and so this does really work very well. I would have never thought to do this, but great articulation. On the original RC mold, it was very well articulated and did look really good. A really good looking Fimbot to base this character from, and getting into all of the different poses and the kind of stuff that you can do with this figure. So it's really pretty awesome. Here she is with her weapons and all armored up and weaponed up, and there are so many different things you could do because of the posability, but I do think it looks cool. I think it's great, and just putting the right amount of accessories with it, so it seems to work out. People are happy with it so far. So this is something really strange, nothing more than a picture. Could all just be a hoax, could all just be a joke. I mean, I don't know if there's a June 1st joke going on, but Stranger Things, Joyce's 1976 Ford Pinto, somebody talking about possibly, is it a Winona Ryder face or a character based off of that? So if we do get a Transformer based off this, which I kind of doubt it, this is probably all just a joke or a prank, but I thought it was kind of funny, kind of fun, just something to talk about. It really does get made. It would be quite interesting, and playing on the fact that they just put out another season of, was it season 4 of Stranger Things? Seems like something that would be an excellent tie-in if they really made it. And fans, I'll be putting out more pictures. And this is also with their Double Evil. And so they're putting the pictures of the figures that are coming, but they're also going to reissue this other figure over here. So it's a good idea for them to reissue some of the figures that were very popular in the past and that are kind of getting hard to come by these days. But I think it's a great picture for scale. Just kind of curious when this set's going to be done. They put so many pictures out every single week. They put more pictures out for this, and it should be coming soon, it seems, since they have so much going on with it and they moved so far with the project. Now, there's supposed to be some Josiah Toys custom head coming for the MP21 version of the Spike. Was one thing that people were doing back in the day, I think it was Impossible Toys, that we were getting both of them, but other people were trying to put custom heads on these. First off, the original head doesn't even have eyes, but they're not very far in the process, I guess. Guess they're still working on it. But to me, that doesn't look really all that great, but it's a great starting point, great idea to get started with this. But pretty interesting if you could actually get a swappable head, and then it looks like it's going to have a lot more articulation than the original. So there's a picture of an Action Master Rack and Ruin via Hightail. Now, I'm not exactly sure what scale this is, and so I'm just kind of throwing this in between before we get into the legends. But this is interesting little group of characters here, and so I wonder a couple of things, well, quite a few things about it. Like, will this see a full production? Is this just a concept? And this is just interesting, something floating around out there. Doesn't appear to transform at all. So we got some updated pictures of Magic Square's Ironhide. This is the Legends scale and color prototype. Looks pretty good with the red and all that kind of stuff. Looks really good. This is better than what we've got with Masterpiece, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I'd like more paint and a few other things if it was Masterpiece scale. But design-wise, I think this is better than what Takara gave us. Now, we might be arguing that when we see this alt mode, the alt mode isn't better than what Takara gave us. So this is kind of like, are we going to take a better bot mode for a worse alt mode? And it's kind of what Magic Square did here. So it does look like a bus. Like, it's almost like a school bus in a way, but it doesn't really match the van that it was back in the 80s. But still, it's pretty cool that we're getting this character. Anyway, here's how it looks as a team with some of these other figures, with, of course, the Jazz and Hound and Optimus 2.0. So, great looking team right there. I like what Magic Square is doing, and I wonder if we're going to get an EX and all this kind of stuff with this, or if we're just going to get one and done, because they're going to reuse this mold for Ratchet. Josiah Toys is coming along with this hexagon camel, and it does turn into a camel. It's very interesting, all these different angles, and for whatever reason, it looks like they are whittling a lot of these parts out of wood. That's really what it looks like. It probably is a 3D print thing, but it looks like they're whittling it out of wood. Interesting, though, how they're doing it, and it turns into this. So that's what it rolls into. I remember some of this from, was this the Cybertron era or something like that? I remember something like this in one of the eras of Transformers. Mech Fans Toys is coming out with 2 more color variations of the Trell Breaker mold. That's a KO upscale. It is a little bit upscaled from what we got with Magic Square, and that's a pretty good mold. It looks pretty good, and they did kind of tighten a few things up on it that was a little loose on the Magic Square. But this is a super bright blue and a yellow here, so it's called Insight and Profit. So looking pretty cool, and I think they're up for pre-order on Show Z right now, probably other places too. So if you're in on these color variations, I think they're like $35 a piece. Fans Toys also has a head for their Elita 1. So they've already announced they're going to do an RC, and it just makes sense that they're going to make a new head and turn that RC into Elita 1, or maybe we're going to get a whole new Elita 1, who knows, but it really makes sense, because as you can see, they repaint a lot of stuff. It's probably just going to be RC with a new head, but we'll see more coming up in the future. And just look, I think that neck piece does sort of match this right here. So this is another one of the McFans toys that's on the way, and that neck piece, that matches up, that aligns. That's probably what's going on right here. So DNA Designs has an upgrade kit for the Studio Series Dinobot Sludge, and this is pretty interesting because it includes more than just what you're going to get for the Sludge. You can use these blast effects in all of the 3 dinos that are out right now, which you're going to see here that in just a second. But 3 blast effects, and you also get a sword, and you get dinosaur mode belly cover, and we get pop-out eyes and extra pieces to fix loose joints and all that kind of stuff. So here's the eyes popping out, and you just snap it on top. It works really well. Looks like it's going to work really well. I can't guarantee it works well, but it looks like it's going to work really well. And so that's very interesting. And I like they're putting a whole lot of stuff into one set. Here's how you can use all of the different effects with the other dinos. So I always felt this way. If you're going to have several figures that could utilize the same set or make a set for several figures, it should happen. Instead of piecemealing $50 for every upgrade kit for every single figure you buy, spend $50 or $60 and upgrade 3. Alright, so in some mainline news, we first saw this RC that is going to be the Studio Series movie version of RC, and somebody pointed out in my comments that it was the 30th anniversary version with a slight retool, and I didn't think so because of the legs and the hips, but now side by side, and well, we actually do have confirmation that's what they did. So for budgetary constraints, they started with the 30th anniversary and they worked to this. I still personally think 30th anniversary looks the best because there's no gaps in the thighs, and the fact that the backpack's actually, as big as it is still smaller than what's on this one, and just all around it just feels like a more solid looking figure to me. I like the colors better and all that kind of stuff. There are some things that may be improved on this, but at the end it's going to be tough to beat that 30th anniversary, even if you're basing this on that mold. So this is the alt mode. You can kind of see on the left is the new one we're going to get, which is not a great picture. In the middle is the 30th anniversary one. On the right is sort of the modern version that we have gotten, but she's going to have a new head, 4 arms, torso, legs, and rear of car, and then her transformation is going to give her an ab crunch. So a lot of differences here, a lot of changes. I still really like the 30th anniversary car mode. I guess everything gets a girl walk mode now, so it's got a girl walk mode. I really don't know the point of this. It's just having fun. I'm sure it's just having fun. There's really no need for this, but still pretty interesting, and you get a better look at the car. Alright, so we have got a better look at Velocitron packaging here. Velocitron Speedia Collection packaging for Road Hauler. And the thing about this is that it is interesting. It's different packaging than we've seen so far, and it's almost like reminiscent of G1 with a modern take and an open window. And yeah, I'm not really happy about the open windows, but anyway, that's the way they're going, and it looks like it's packed in the alt mode, so different take, I guess you could say. We also get to see the same thing with this override, so really interesting that it's going along this. We saw this as a review before anyone knew it was even a thing or was announced, and now we get to see packaging. So you never seem to get to see the packaging in those super early reviews for whatever reason, but looks kind of cool, looks kind of interesting if you're in on this. Alright, so we've got pictures this week of a possible Ransack recolor of Kickback, which is kind of cool. Now, this is sort of getting us into some deluxe Insecticons, something that we've all kind of wanted for a while, or not maybe all, but a lot of people have wanted, so looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting that they're going that route, and I kind of like that. I kind of do like that. And here's kind of a close-up picture and look at it now. It's not going to be true to the G1 because they're just remolding and I don't even know if it's slight retool, and they're just changing a few things, but it's not going to be exactly like the original because it is just a recolor more or less, but it's still a good idea, and at least they're trying. I'll give them that. Here's the alt mode and the insect mode, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. So still looks cool, still looks pretty exciting, something we just haven't had for a long time, and we're going to get it soon. Well, theoretically. So we got more stock images of the Transformers Generations Shattered Glass Blaster, and it's officially revealed, and it looks pretty much like we saw it before, and they're still sticking with the clear cassette. So, cool, interesting. It's just something that we've seen. Here's the alt mode, and not really much new here, but what is new is that we actually are getting some in-hand pictures, so let's look at those. So here he is next to the original blaster, which is what this whole figure is based off, that same mold. It's just a recolor, but interesting looking nonetheless, and a lot of people really like this. And for this to be sort of a fan channel online exclusive would be a lot better than a mainline release. This wouldn't make it at retail, but a lot of people that want something like this can get it, so I really like that. That's kind of cool if you want to pony up the extra dough. I think the Cyclonus one was an additional like $4 or $5, so this is probably the same. Here's a cassette comparison, and yeah, not bad. Clear, knocking out clear. That works. So I don't know if anybody remembers that Jada made an Optimus Prime. It was like $6.99 on kind of the Hot Wheels aisle, and it was pretty cool. It was a nice looking Optimus Prime, not transformable, and really just didn't do much. This thing is going to be $30. This is a Nemesis Prime version, and the thing about this is it's going to have opening doors. It's made of die-cast, rubber tires, premium rubber tires, all that kind of stuff. But it's carrying quite a hefty price tag for a retail of a 1/24 scale figure, but it's not even a figure. It's just the alt mode. So if you're in on this, pick it up. I'm imagining they're not going to make a whole lot, and that's probably why they have such a high price point. So this is interesting. This is a Megatron Helmet from Gamestop. It's exclusive to Gamestop, and it is supposed to be out in August. Originally scheduled August 2021, and now it's finally shipping. So it has LED eyes, and it does appear to look a lot like Megatron. It has a nice little smirk going on to it, so it looks pretty cool, looks pretty good. And if you have one of these, you probably need a Megatron costume to go with it. Here's the inside of it. Looks not so comfortable, actually. It doesn't look comfortable to wear, but most people won't be wearing this as much as they're just going to have it displayed with other helmets and that kind of stuff. But it still looks pretty cool, pretty interesting for those who collect this kind of stuff. So this really isn't anything surprising or really that big, but I have to say that Hasbro renewing their 2 logo trademarks for Maximal and Predacon, and with that, they probably plan on selling a lot more Beast Wars stuff. That's a big deal. Doing a lot more with the Beast Wars name and all that kind of stuff. Of course, they have to keep this stuff up, and if they're not actively using it or making money at it, then it's a waste of time. But it seems like Beast Wars is not as popular as I thought it would be. It seems like a lot of stuff going to clearance, a lot of stuff sitting on the shelf, not moving very fast. But it might also be because they're putting out new Beast Wars stuff and retro Beast Wars stuff all at the exact same time, and they're doing Beast Wars in red. It might be Beast Wars overload, so that could be a problem too. But it just seems like they're putting a lot of time, effort, and money into Beast Wars, and it's really not paying off for them as much as it is for the Beast Wars collectors. Beast Wars collectors are super excited to get all this stuff. Now, if you don't know, YouTube has uploaded, well, Hasbro YouTube uploaded all of the G1, more or less, all the G1 shows. I believe they're 100% now. But Pluto TV's putting up quite a bit. They're putting up Cyberverse, Transformers Prime, Robots in Disguise, and many more, and they're just adding more to it every single day. So I don't really know much about Pluto. I don't use it. I don't even know if it's free or you have to pay for it or whatever, but still, it's one of those things. It's a full-on Pluto Transformer channel, so pretty interesting. Check it out. The streaming service, they say it's free. I don't use it, but it's something that you could use if you want to go check out some Transformers. There's a lot of content already on YouTube. There's a lot of free stuff out there, but it's one more avenue. Really, it's just a big toy commercial so that we buy their stuff, right? So I find it fun to see what's out there in the rest of the world, and so with that, this is how I kind of slide into my new segment of what did I find. But I did go on a road trip, and I gotta tell you, I wasn't thinking about all this, the crazy gas prices. I was thinking about that, but I wasn't really thinking about, you know, how it was one of those intentional things to raise gas prices. It's 90% political, by the way, and I'm not going to get into it, but with that, I was thinking about something else. There's nothing really selling that's on the shelves. A couple of new things show up. Those new things sell. The old stuff still sits. We're going to see more massive clearance soon at retail, and it's just kind of surprising. 3 months now of nothing new. So getting into what you get for $10 segment.
What do we get for $10?
So there's this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie 2, and this is a Shredder $10. Check your Walmarts. They are clearing them out for $10. So if you're into that, it's just a bit big, and it's based off the movie, not the cartoon and all that kind of stuff. But if you're in on the movie, or if you care at all, get it now. They just repacked the same thing like 3 times. So this is a blurry picture, but I'm seeing a lot of Landos, and some places have Emperors and a few other things going on. So some have the IG-11s, $10. So I'm thinking these will get a lot cheaper, a lot cheaper. So watch for some of these vintage collection figures. But the sad thing is, I don't think they're getting any new vintage collection figures in until they clear out these Landos. One thing that I found that was really awesome, junk keeps showing up here in Oklahoma, so that's really cool. That's pretty awesome right there. The $33.99 price isn't quite as awesome, but still, for that price, you could pick up one of each if they just keep making all different ones. Hopefully they don't just do 2 and stop, but it would be really awesome since they do like to reuse molds. And this is something really strange. I mean, I got to get out of town to see stuff like this, but I never saw this before. But these are Garbage Pail Kids statues, I guess. I don't think anything moves on them, which it's bringing the Garbage Pail Kids to life. I don't know how many they're going to make. This is the Best AXN figures or whatever. That company's not the greatest, but to make little statues that look like Garbage Pail Kids, I thought it was pretty cool. $17, a bit steep, but still pretty interesting. Okay, so it's G.I. Joe June. We've got to get tough, yo, Joe. And June 8th is going to be the presentation, the fan stream that is going to be on YouTube. They had something, I guess it was on Instagram or something along those lines, where they had already talked about a few things. They unboxed a Thunder Machine from their archive, and I don't know really how that went. They said that we are going to be getting a Classified Shipwreck and a Rock and Roll, so that's already like early announcements, which is pretty cool. And with that, that's a lot of interesting stuff that's going to happen going forward, but we're still waiting on a lot of the past promises. So hearing the 2023 and 2024 promises, that's kind of a little sad, but I am curious what's going on. Serpentor, maybe? And Dr. Mindbender is going to be, I guess, a widespread release. It's not going to be Pulse only. It showed up on Best Buy as a placeholder, meaning that it's going to be either a Best Buy exclusive that's also on Pulse, or it's going to be a widespread exclusive you can get everywhere online or whatever. So more to come on that, but at least you'll be able to get it at one additional place than Pulse. So this past week, Hasbro Pulse did have a 40% off sale on select items if you spent $75 or more. So I got to tell you, this was on it. This 2-pack of the O-Ring, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow. And if you put several stuff in your cart and you crack the $75 mark, these were $23.99 a piece, which is a sucker punch in the gut to myself, who already paid, was it $94 out the door for 2 sets. It's killer, frustrating, but it's a good deal, and I think it's still up right now if you want to get them. So go over to Hasbro Pulse. It only goes on, I think, through the end of Sunday night or sometime Monday, but if you're interested, they've got this, they've got some Transformers and stuff. A lot of stuff selling out, a lot of stuff has sold out, but I think this is still available. So the Friday NECA exclusives for the SDCC, they went up for sale at noon, and they were sold out by 12:27 or something like that. And here's the thing, I completely missed the boat on this. Completely. And I wasn't going to get this anyway, but this is pretty cool. Gremlin. Yeah, that's interesting. And this is the NECA Turtle 4-pack. So if you missed out, there's something strange, a strange anomaly. Like literally every single pre-order just went away at 12:27 or 12:26. Maybe it was 12:25, but they just all went away. Usually if stuff sells out, it goes down one at a time as it sells out. There's no chance that every single one of their exclusives sold out at the exact same time. So if you missed out on one of those, I'm thinking that they'll start showing up again down the road. Now, I have no guarantee on that, but last year we had the Defenders of the Earth, 6-inch figures, and they were an SDCC exclusive. They showed up at Target, and also I hear that that's what the 4-pack was from the Turtles. That was the Channel 6 news station. So, I mean, I really wasn't into those things last year, but I'm paying closer attention to this, so we'll see if this shows up. If this stuff starts showing up at Target as SDCC exclusive, like last year's stuff did, that will be very interesting. This seems like something that would be a very high demand item, something that a lot of people would want, and I just don't see why not make as much money as they can off of this. This doesn't make any sense. So it's like they put it up for like less than a half an hour, that however many orders they got, that's what they'll make. That really doesn't make any sense. I really don't understand, but it's strange because of the fact that all of them went down at the same time. That's odd. So BBTS just got in a whole bunch of pre-order listings, and I think you can still get all the same stuff at Entertainment Earth and a few other places that are out there, but I was really taken by surprise by a few things. Like She-Ra is $35. She's the deluxe one, so she's more expensive. She comes with a bunch of stuff, so I was surprised by that. I was surprised by a few things, but overall, I kind of pre-ordered one of each, but I'm finding myself not getting excited to even get a second of most of them because A, the prices are going up, and B, I don't know about you, but it just kind of feels like we're losing the whole Motu momentum. It seems like there's a huge lack of interest in Motu, and it's just starting to wane. I don't know if it's the economy or what, but less and less people are chattering about it, excited about it. It seems really, really strange. It was super huge last year, but I'm only pre-ordering one or two because I expect to find this stuff at retail. I might be wrong. We got pictures of the Masters Universe new Attorney Beastman, and it looks pretty cool. It's not quite as classic as I would like, though. I would like the super classic Filmation version. This is what we're going to get. I still like it better than the Cancun party version that we got already, but this is better than that one. But it's using the same buck. It appears to have a lot of the same that the other one had. It's just more accessories and a few different things. So I would like a very, very classic one. I think you can make it look semi-classic. It's got 40th anniversary on there, but it doesn't really feel 40th anniversary to me. Not like the He-Man that's coming. A couple quick updates from Ramen Toy. I do want to say Ramen Toy is said that they're going to be sending out the newer heads and helmets. If you ordered the original set and you wanted to order the new head upgrade, they will be shipping those out soon. That's kind of what they're working on shipping out right now. And they say that this is going to take a little bit of time to get those out, but I actually thought they were coming with my 80s Commanders, and they didn't, so I asked, and they said it's coming. So it's coming separately, a separate shipment, so just want to get that out there. And the only real updates, there's a lot of pictures of Quicksilver. I think Quicksilver is the next project coming, so that's why we get a lot of pictures. They did point out that they changed the color of the shoulders, and as I pointed out, I was saying that I really think they need to do something about how it's kind of black or charcoal or something where the connector pieces are, and they did do something about the majority of this. So majority of this is going to look silver. There are still a few parts that aren't going to be silver because it's definitely going to have paint rub, and they just really don't want the paint rub aspect of it, but this is a nice comparison right here. So, a bit of Star Wars news this week. The Kenobi series is really awesome. I think that they're doing pretty good work with that series. I like what's going on so far. It just kind of gives you that old school feel. But a lot of people are hating on Reva, and there's a lot of negative comments out there. And I want to say, for all of those who hate Reva as a character or the actress or whatever, then you probably hate Anakin because she feels a lot like Anakin. I actually like her more than I liked Anakin as a character. So, or young Anakin. I like the older Anakin, I guess. But looking at this, that's kind of what I feel the whole vibe from her is. And I'm not going to go any deeper because there would be spoilers if I went any deeper. But I think she's doing a good job. The actress is doing a good job. And I think the character, I mean, obviously they're going to introduce new characters. And it's not that they're doing a bad job or she's doing a bad job. Let's see how this plays out. I actually have two different fan theories about this. And the series starting in August, starts streaming, is this Andor series. So I don't know. I guess timeline-wise it comes after Kenobi. I'm really not sure. I'm not exactly sure how this whole timeline works with this stuff. But it's one of those things that I'm going to give it a shot. I don't have high hopes for it at all. But I'm going to give it a shot. And hopefully I enjoy it. So I've enjoyed all these TV series. I mean, some more than others. And I don't think any were actually horrible. But it's coming in August. So it looks like this pre-order window is closed. Or is closing soon for Jabba's throne. For the Boba throne. In the Jabba. Whatever. Boba's throne. It's a Jabba Palace play set. And there it is. It's like $230, but I didn't pre-order it. I'm not spending that kind of money on it. I just really don't think it's worth it to me. it's worth it to a lot of other people. I already have my display made for this. I just don't need to spend that kind of money. I can put that towards other things. It is cool. It is interesting. If they had a better price on it, I would have bid. But those who did, I'm going to watch their reviews and that kind of stuff. And of course, we got an Obi-Wan Black Series for Obi-Wan. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It's different. It's interesting. He does look different in the series. He does act different in the series. And I'm sure we're going to see something change from the beginning to the end in Obi-Wan and all that. So still pretty cool. There's also this is the Vintage Collection. Obi-Wan Kenobi on the left, and on the right is going to be that, was it the Dark Trooper. So pretty cool looking stuff that's coming for the Vintage Collection. But still, you know, I'm still in that camp. We need to finish that 96 before we get on to new figures. But that's my belief, not Hasbro's. So this is a $90 animatronic Lola edition figure, and it does a lot of stuff. Has touch sensors, and you can attach legs to it. You can attach her to a stand and have her hover. You can have respond to background noises and all that kind of stuff. So this is sort of the Grogu of the series, and it's the just the BB-8 of the series, or all of those other little gimmicks they want to sell to the kids. This is better than a Porg, I guess, but this is just another in a long list of things that they're trying to sell to kids, which is fine. Star Wars should be for kids. So what do you think about this week's weekly news and review? I'm kind of getting tired of sitting here talking. It's been a lot of stuff to talk about this week. And what do you guys think about this? What else is going on out there? What other cool stuff? Did you get in on any of the exclusives? Or did you order the stuff that you wanted? Or did you sit it all out? Did you feel like it's all way too expensive? Because I'm starting to feel that way myself. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. But damn, hang out.